Things continue to grow darker for Theo in Coronation Street, and if actor James Cartwright is to be believed, fans should brace themselves for the possibility that Theo could harm someone else soon. Viewers will recall that Theo played a key role in Billy's death during the Corrie crash. He deliberately fastened his own seatbelt again so that Todd would remain with him, removing Billy from the picture. The moment shocked audiences and showed the extreme lengths he is willing to go when jealousy and possessiveness take over. Now it appears that incident may not have been an isolated act. Discussing the storyline airing this week, James revealed details about a seemingly ordinary birthday lunch that quickly turns uncomfortable. According to him, Theo has already taken control of Todd's finances by this stage and knows Todd doesn't actually have the money to pay. Even so, when everyone gathers at the table, Theo casually encourages the group to order whatever they like, confidently saying Todd will handle the bill, fully aware of the awkward situation that will follow. The moment Todd's card is rejected, Theo immediately jumps in to cover the payment. He jokingly criticizes Todd in front of everyone, acting as though Todd is irresponsible with money while presenting himself as the helpful partner who rescues the situation. However, the gesture is far from genuine kindness. It is a calculated move designed to undermine Todd's confidence and make him appear helpless. Theo carefully stages the moment to make it seem as though Todd cannot manage life without him. Once they are out of public view, Theo's attitude changes dramatically. The supportive act disappears, and he confronts Todd aggressively, revealing that the earlier performance was nothing more than manipulation. What initially seemed like opportunistic behavior has now turned into something far more deliberate. Theo is systematically breaking down Todd's independence and ensuring that Todd's entire life becomes centered around him. The humiliation is intentional. Theo's aim isn't just to embarrass Todd, but also to isolate him from others. And as James hints, the situation worsens once the pair return home. Back at their house, Theo completely loses his temper. The argument intensifies rapidly and soon turns into something far more threatening. James explained that violence often escalates when it goes unchallenged. Over time, it becomes normalized and grows more severe. In a relationship, such behavior is deeply troubling, yet for Theo it has become another way to maintain dominance. He also pointed out the physical imbalance between the two men. Theo is a larger, muscular scaffolder, and he uses that physical advantage as another method of intimidation to get what he wants. The storyline paints a disturbing picture of coercive control, highlighting that Theo's violent nature didn't start and end with the crash that killed Billy. Later in the week, tensions flare up again when Theo sees Todd being escorted home by James after Todd has had too much to drink. For Theo, this encounter feels like a direct challenge. James explained that Theo harbors intense resentment toward James. In his eyes, James represents everything he envies: confidence, attractiveness, and comfort with his own identity. Theo has always struggled with accepting his sexuality. Although he lives openly as a gay man, he has never fully come to terms with it. Seeing someone like James, who is openly confident and proud, triggers deep jealousy within him. He added that Theo has never truly faced who he is. Watching James move through life so freely, especially knowing that James has feelings for Todd, only fuels Theo's anger even more. James even joked that if James had been the one driving the minibus during the crash, Theo would never have allowed him to walk away alive. Considering what Theo has already done, that remark carries an unsettling undertone. With Theo tightening his hold over Todd and his jealousy growing stronger, the pressing question remains: how far is he willing to go to maintain control? Billy's death already showed that Theo is capable of deadly actions when he feels trapped. As his paranoia deepens, viewers are left wondering who might become his next victim. In tonight's episode of Coronation Street, viewers finally learn the outcome of the surgery for David and Shona Platt's baby daughter, Harper. The infant was taken into an operation to remove a lump from her neck, while her anxious parents waited nearby, doing their best to remain calm. Meanwhile, back at home, Nick Tilsley phoned Gail Chadwick and began listing all the possible complications that might occur during the procedure. His pessimistic rundown irritated the rest of the family, who were simply trying to enjoy their breakfast. About 2 hours into what was expected to be a 10-hour surgery, David and Shona, already feeling tense with one another, were surprised when Nick, Bethany, Jody, Toya, and Sarah arrived at the hospital, despite being asked earlier not to come. David was keen for everyone to leave, apart from Toya, who had kindly brought food with her. Shona, however, appreciated the extra support, particularly after Jody quietly revealed that it had been her idea for everyone to show up and be there for them. The atmosphere later became tense when they noticed 2 nurses rushing quickly into Harper's room. Although David and Shona tried to follow, the staff wouldn't allow them inside, only mentioning briefly that there had been some bleeding. Not knowing exactly what was happening made David extremely anxious, and he ended up snapping at his family. Frustrated, he told them he didn't need their help and asked them to leave because their presence was making the situation more stressful. Later on, Jody went back to the hospital with some snacks for David and tried to comfort him. She gave him a reassuring hug before stepping away and letting him return to Shona. While waiting in the corridor, Jody spoke with another young mother who assumed that she and David were a couple. Rather than correcting her, Jody played along and seemed to enjoy the momentary attention. As more time passed and the anxious wait continued, a doctor eventually came out to speak with David and Shona and give them an update on the operation. Fortunately, the news was positive. The doctor confirmed that Harper was doing perfectly well after the procedure. Relieved, David joked that their daughter was proper hard. Overcome with relief, David and Shona embraced each other and expressed their love, while Jody quietly watched the emotional moment unfold from the other side of the window. Next week on Coronation Street, Todd Grimshaw finds himself close to breaking down as Theo Silverton keeps causing chaos. After his birthday celebrations take an unpleasant turn, Theo lashes out and humiliates Todd in public, sparking yet another heated confrontation between them. However, as the tension between the couple becomes impossible to ignore, viewers may begin to wonder whether Theo's abusive behavior will finally be exposed. During Monday's episode, Todd and Summer Spellman try to make Theo feel special as they celebrate his birthday. Yet, while opening his gifts, the scaffolder clearly shows he isn't impressed and doesn't even attempt to hide his disappointment. Later at the bistro, Theo invites Gary Windus and Maria Connor to sit with him for a birthday lunch, while Todd is delayed at work. When Todd eventually shows up, an irritated Theo immediately gives him the bill, leaving Todd embarrassed as he admits he doesn't have enough money to pay. The awkwardness doesn't end there. Once they return home, Theo continues to blame Todd for spoiling his birthday and angrily orders him to fetch a bottle of wine. Todd tries to calm things down, but his efforts fail, leading to a furious argument that ends with smashed dishes. The next morning, Gary spots Theo asleep in his van. Theo explains that he and Todd had a dispute over their financial problems. Wanting to help, Gary offers to collect some of Theo's belongings from the flat while things settle. When Gary gets to the apartment, he finds Todd visibly upset and throwing a blender across the room in frustration after failing to get it to work. Todd then admits he hopes to reconcile with Theo, prompting Gary to call Theo and suggests they talk things through.